Alright, do a little, what's this called? Oh yeah, Fishroom update. So got the male convict in there, took his hideout for the moment. I'm probably rehoming him soon. Been talking to some people, and I don't have female for him, and don't really just wanted to have him by himself, and would rather put some other stuff in there. Yeah, so I might would do that and free that tank up for something else. Over here is the crib tank. Still got the couple angels in it. Down here is the fry. Should have two more in there somewhere. Just noticed I might have to move the fry out. The female just came over and walloped this fry here pretty good. Which leads me to another thing. Came in one morning and the male was floating, just dead. So I don't know if the female walloped him pretty good or what happened. Everything's good in the tank as far as parameters and all that. So I don't have a male for this tank other than I believe the fry. Some of those are going to be male. And then we move over here. This is the convict tank. Got one single little piece of Java moss growing up there on that sponge filter. Everybody else can grow that like a weed, but I can't get it growing for some reason. But if you saw my Instagram a few weeks back, you saw that I had some wigglers in this tank. Well, I don't know if you can make them out back there under that rock, but the wigglers have turned into free swimming little fry. Mommy and Daddy here have been very protective, so the other convicts had to be moved out into another tank. We'll get to that in a minute. The black neons that were in here got tore up pretty bad. Only one survived. I was able to save it, but all of its fins were completely gone. Get a better look here at the female convict. Not convict, crib, female crib. She's being pretty feisty, like she has eggs or something. But I wouldn't think without an adult male that she would be able to. Maybe she had fry when she killed him. If she killed him. I don't know, there's another fry sitting up there, one down there. So, alright, so the convict tank just showed you that. I don't know if I'd done this last time. I cut holes in the lid to put my pothos down through. Got that one in one of those little basket pot things that potted plants come in. Got that one cut just to slip the roots down through. And then I've got this tank here, just a 20 long, it's empty. Come over here, we got my shell dwellers, little multifasciatus. Got the elbows in there that I had before I got the shells from Racing's Natural Aquariums. They're still small, but they're eating, doing good. I did put a background on the tank, but I've been lazy and haven't done that. Over here we've got some jewel cichlids. They're real active. No, and if you noticed, I moved 20 longs and 29 down here. And that's just so I could fit 220 highs up here with the 55. In the 55 I've got the angels still, added some more decorations, more gravel just to give a little more room. I've got some little quarries in there. One of the bristle noses. I came out for a moment until I tried to get over here to get a view of him. There's one of the quarries. Can't really make the bristle nose out there. Got a little visitor. His name's Frank. He lives down here. He's a, oops, what do they call him, American toad or whatever. He's been down here since he's been a tadpole, I guess. He's been itty bitty growing up. So back over here to the 20 highs. I moved the convicts into this tank, the extra convicts, with some decorations, pots, some bricks, and little caves and stuff. And the substrate's eco complete from the Bad Juju tank. We just put it in here. And about 2 days ago, I noticed all the convicts except for these two were up in the corner. If you deal with convicts, you know what that's a sign of. I started looking, and sure enough, back in there, we've got wigglers. So we've got another male-female pair here that have paired off. The small one being the female, the larger one being the male. And they have babies. So couldn't keep the other convicts in here with them. So they moved next door. Got another thing of Java moss trying to do it. See if I kill that one. So this tank is kind of doing a not what it was intended for, but it's a refugee tank, I guess. So there's the black neon that had its fins demolished. They should grow back for the most part. They didn't get too much of the meat. And I think there's 3 convicts in this tank. Maybe there's just 2, but I think there's 3. I only see 2. But the way they're acting isn't too good. So I may have to separate them out. That female that's doing the chasing may have laid eggs somewhere, but she's not chasing the neon. I have to get a closer look. The substrate in this tank is the blasting sand, and I made a video about doing that, and got some duckweed on top. Like I said, this wasn't the plan for this tank, and I was going to do a better job scaping it and all that, but necessity had me over the barrel, or whatever the saying is, and threw this together to have hiding spots and stuff to try to keep these fish alive. We'll see what goes on with that. I don't know what I had done in the last update, so I'm just going to go through my recent changes. I've ran all the tanks on on sponge filters off a single airline, and my air pump has a manifold which divides it out into 6 units, and I have rejoined that all into 1 unit, run it all the way around the fish room, and then divided it off to each tank. That way I'll get a better pressure. Before, I had this light strip plugged up here, and I had this strip and one behind me here on the 20 longs. And what I've done now, I've added this strip over here, hooked it into that light, and then connected this light so it's run off 1 plug now to save the current, the outlets, free up some outlets and stuff. Move the chair out of the view. As you can see, 220 highs at 2 feet apiece, and a 55 at 4 foot. 2, 4, and another 4 is 8. They don't fit on an 8-foot board. It's because of the trim, so anybody that's doing a fish room, keep that in mind. Your trim is bigger than what your tank measurements are. So on mine, my 55 is hanging over. So whenever, if I ever get around to building those fish racks out of wood going up, I won't be able to do this configuration. I'll have to keep in mind that the trim is larger, because I was measuring in my head the tank size to fit on the rack, and that won't work. Let's see what else we got going on. Do some water changes. Probably leave that tank empty for a while. Probably the next thing on my list is to redo the electric down here so that I don't have extension cord run to the other side of the room and a plugs hanging down like that. I actually have a electric outlets by each tank or each section of tanks. Then after that, I will probably the next thing I'll probably be working on building the racks to get the tanks more in one area. No, I'll take that back. The next thing will be getting a central heat system down here, a space heater or something, to not have the in-tank heaters be needed. And that'll go down to 1 plug instead of the heater, each heater having a plug. And that should get my fish room down to 3 plugs for the whole fish room. That'll be nice. Well, I believe I've covered everything. These guys are getting my attention, being active and stuff. If you've kept jewel cichlids, let me know what you think about them. Any tips or anything? I've got them in there by themselves with a cave type decor. I've never kept them myself. I mean, I sold them when I had the pet store, but they didn't stay around very long. I mean, they sold out within a week, so I didn't have to, really deal with their husbandry and their care and breeding them and tank mates and all that kind of stuff. But they aren't colored up as good as whenever I bought them at the place I bought them, but they are getting their color back in real good. Being real social with each other. They're not aggressive towards each other, but I don't know if I put, say, angels in there with them, if somebody get destroyed or what, or if I put guppies in there or what. So let me know what you think, if you have any experience with jewel cichlids, how to breed them, tank mates, how to decorate, whatever. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Till next time, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button, notification button, share button, all those buttons up there, and we'll see you then.